progress.
Yo, 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 it's your man's Big Daddy Ruffneck. You're tuned into the Gary Brugman Podcast. Prepare to be entertained.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 81 of the Gary Brugman Podcast. I'm here with my brother Big Daddy Ruffneck, my brother Kevin Butler. We're going to have a great episode for you today, so hang on to something tight because we're going to be bouncing off all kinds of guardrails today. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, what's going on, man? Welcome to episode 81 of the Gary Brugman Podcast. It's been a good weekend for me, brother. Good to see you, TJ. Good to see you, Kevin.
Yo. Yeah, good to see you too. See both of you.
Well, before we get started,
Can't miss me. Can't miss me.
I know. Dude, can you turn that shirt down a little bit? I'm going to have to adjust the colors here when I edit this.
You're always editing something with me. I don't get it, man.
It reminds me of that Triumph song, The Blinding Light Show, man. I love what it says, though. Blue-collar American.
Yes, I am. And yes, we are.
With that Black Rifle coffee.
There you go.
Blue collar than that, right?
Yeah, I've got a case of that in the refrigerator.
Bro, I've got some Black Rifle coffee and a Warfighter tobacco cup. Can't go wrong there.
Nice. And how are you doing, Mr. Brugman?
I'm good, bro. I had a good weekend. I got this cough in my throat that I've had since they traked me. And
What's his name?
It's still kicking my ass, man. Still got that dry cough. It's driving me nuts. But other than that, I'm good, brother. Life is really good. You know how it is. It's not easy. It's not fair. But fuck, life is good, man. You know?
Damn right.
Gotta be blessed to be alive, man.
Yep, thank God to open my eyes to another day.
Got to see my brother Kevin this weekend and some other brothers from Illinois and Wisconsin came down to Houston, spent the weekend in Houston.
The other Kevin.
The other Kevin, yes. Yes.
Specific.
Dude, so me and Kevin went to a Chad Prather show in New Braunfels, and then Kevin showed up, and I ran into another buddy of mine, Kevin. So I was like, hey, it was Kevin. It was like KKK.
I said, whoa.
No.
You're going to trigger some people.
I don't give a fuck. It's my show.
2 out of 3 were black guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just letting you know, so that's not like that.
Popular name in that decade, I guess.
Well, you know
what's funny is I never used to run into anybody named Kevin when I was younger. It seems like
one.
now that I'm older, I'm running into people that are named Kevin.
Yeah,
at least one. There was always at least one in the group.
But I had a really good weekend in Houston with some good friends. Picked up a SIG P320. Beautiful gun, dude. I love this damn thing. Empty.
I love this guy exercising the Second Amendment.
Dude,
right.
give me my Second Amendment right back. See what happens.
Show me, brother.
But my weekend was really good. Had physical therapy yesterday and today. Have some more tomorrow. And
so you finally got a steak over there at Taste of Texas.
Oh my God, that was so good. I got so freaking fat that day. I had
the Ed Niner.
I had
Nice.
I had a New York strip with a baked potato, and then we had the pigeon in the beginning, which are the quail bites.
Pigeon.
Yeah.
Were they New York pigeon?
Well, dude,
Was it tough? Was it a little tough?
I heard even the pigeons flee in New York.
Yeah, right. Dude, Ed and Nina don't like it when I call it pigeon, but when the first time I ate there, I didn't know what to eat, so Ed was recommending stuff, and he's like, so I ordered you the quail bites. I was like, quail bites? Well, the quail bites. He goes, quail. And the only thing I remember, I'm from Brooklyn. The only thing I remember about quail was that little cartoon on Bugs Bunny where and he kept flipping his freaking thing back.
Oh, yeah,
I was like,
that's right.
So I was like, quail? You mean like pigeon? And it's like, no, it's not a damn pigeon. So since then, I've called it pigeon because that's the only thing I can picture when it gets served. But dude, it's delicious. If you've never tried the Taste of Texas in Houston, you gotta go.
Oh, me and Terry tried on the way home from Texas. Great meal. And that cake, she got the 7-layer chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Thing was huge. Took like 3 days to eat.
Dude, it was good. And my brother Brandon from Illinois scored me 3 Champagne PD challenge coins.
Oh, nice.
And he got me this badass Border Patrol coin.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah. And he said this one's a personal between him and I. It says, I ain't afraid of no virus.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice one right there. You gotta definitely carry that one all the time.
It's a Corona buster.
Nice. Corona.
Yeah, because
buster.
he had it as well, and he ended up with a collapsed lung, but he didn't have it as bad as I did, but he made it through. So, but yeah, man, what'd you do this weekend, bro? Either one of you, speak up.
I did a couple hours on the motorcycle.
Nice.
A lot of hours of pain.
Yeah, you were telling me your sciatic's killing you, right?
Sciatic is through the roof. My goodness.
Sorry about that.
A lot of stress in my life.
I've had it, so I know how it feels, brother.
Yeah, it'll go away eventually.
And everything else is good. You're starting treatment next week.
Yes, I will be. Well, on the last episode of the Gary Brugman podcast, I was going in for testing to find out what my options were. And chemo is basically my only option at this point. So I'm going to take a risk at doing chemo, which one of the drugs might affect my neuropathy negatively, and it's irreversible. So if that starts to happen, it's which way is the most beneficial way?
Right.
I don't want to end up in a wheelchair either.
Right.
No, definitely not.
So chemo starts next week, and yeah.
Well,
Ruffneck will survive.
You got me, Kev, your whole family, extended family, Dave DeVito, Kim, everybody that listens is praying for you, so.
Yep.
And those prayers work, bro, because when I was in the hospital, I felt them. I felt the prayers coming in, and it's the whole reason I'm here. I firmly believe I wouldn't have been here without all the prayers.
Funny you say that, because when I start slipping into that darkness, and you know what I mean, when I start slipping down into that darkness, I feel the prayers bringing me back out of it, not letting me get into the darkness. So I appreciate all the prayers, and you're right, they do work.
Prayer's powerful, man. The incredible power of prayer. Yep.
And positivity.
Yep, exactly. So, how about you, Kev? How was your weekend?
Yeah, mine was kind of mediocre. I just kind of hung out and did some work and stuff like that. Worked out a little bit, nothing major. Just kind of doing the everyday thing.
Nice. I had a
talk to you
earlier in the week. Backing up a little bit, on November 10th was the Marine Corps birthday, and as usual, I had a great time with my extended Marine family. Went down to a Grunt Style Social, hung out with Warfighter Tobacco and my bro Hooligan Mikey Fahey. Yeah, and it's Jack Mandeville and everybody.
Jack jumping out of a
Jack was wearing. Did you see what Jack was wearing? Jack was ridiculous.
And First Sergeant and everybody over there was such a great time hanging out with the Marines. And then from there we bounced off to Thirsty Horse and took over that place and sang cadences and songs, and yeah, it was a really good night for the Marine Corps birthday. So it was really good.
Got Mikey out there singing cadence for everybody.
Dude, he sang it like 3 times. By the end of the night, his voice was gone.
Always, every year.
Yeah, well, dude, he puts it out there. He doesn't, pussyfoot the motherfucker.
All into that when he does it. He's screaming.
Dude, you know what's really funny? I love watching him because when you think Marines, you think Mikey. Right. He's like the epitome of a freaking Marine.
Right. Just give him the blues and the sword. And yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, but man, glad everybody had a good weekend. And
coffee.
Yeah, coffee. Gotta soothe that throat, man, because I'm getting ready to cough again. So tell me, man, what's your opinion on the Rittenhouse thing?
Ooh, we gonna bounce off a guardrail that fast, huh?
Yep.
Damn, we're getting into it. Kevin, you take this one first, please.
You want me to bounce off this one first? Okay. Like, it seems to me like the prosecution is completely. They're just stupid. Like they're like the stuff they're trying to bring up and like pin it on and everything. They were saying something to the effects too of what was it like when they were going over hollow points and stuff like that, trying to say that it was like an explosive bullet. It explodes on impact and all these crazy things. And it's like, what are you talking about? No, that's not what a hollow point does. Right. And then also trying to pin it on like because he plays or he actually himself was like I do play first-person shooter games, but it's not like that. And they were trying to say like, oh, you're running around trying to kill everybody like that. Those guys were attacking him.
Right.
Smacking him with
And
a
I don't understand.
skateboard.
Like we were talking earlier. I don't know what.
Mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah.
Like
Everything in the background is on fire in the videos that you watch.
Yeah, but like we were saying earlier, dude, I don't know what relevance that has to do with anything because, you know, like I said, I've played Donkey Kong. You don't see me jumping in the freaking gorilla cage at the zoo, you know.
Right? Or Frogger back when we were kids, or Pac-Man as you don't try to chew on Ghost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just ridiculous. Like it's irrelevant to what you're trying to make us, make stick.
Yeah, but
supposedly to make him into a bad person.
Yeah, but
I think
that's what they're trying to do.
Prosecution did a great job at proving the defense's point.
Yeah, they did a great job of fucking themselves. Is what they did. You know, I'll tell you what, that dude's career is done. It's done.
The judge laid into that guy so bad so many times on how basically like all of his facts and statements were just so ill prepared. Like he's like, you should have went to a different law school.
Yeah.
Or something, because you're proving the point for Rittenhouse on how stupid, like you're trying to bring up some things that are irrelevant. Like, I mean, just like quite literally the guy himself that had the gun that had, I think, his arm. You know, what was that, the meme you sent me, Gary? Some freaking, some lefties are born and then some are made.
Yeah, some lefties are born, some are made.
Yeah, exactly. That guy was definitely made to be a lefty after that one.
Right, exactly.
But he literally himself said that he was walking toward him, raised his gun, and that is when he actually returned fire.
Yep.
So what
self-defense.
else? I mean, what can you say?
There's nothing else to say other than self-defense.
Y'all been tuned into this? You watched the closing statements?
As much as I could. Not all of them, right? But I watched them all.
So there's one point where the prosecutor is trying to say that he shouldn't have shot the first guy, the one where the bullet went in his back and then came out his butt cheek.
Okay.
So he's showing the video as he's giving his, closing argument, and he slips and he goes, look, as you could see how close how far away he was. He was trying to give a
distance.
A distance, and even 4 feet, I think, was being generous.
Right.
That guy was up on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, they were literally chasing him down in the street. The kid was trying to escape.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, if it was me, I would have probably gone to jail because I would have probably shot more people than that. Like at that point, like if you're telling me I'm running down the street and I've got a mob everywhere, everything's burning, you're like in the middle of chaos.
Two in the chest everywhere.
Is smacking you with a skateboard, and then the other guy's aiming a gun at you. I'd have been like, all right, here we go, game on. I'd have just freaking locked and loaded and sort of been like, watch this, I'm gonna start clearing the street.
But dude, I think. Yeah. But what I'm worried about is right now outside the courthouse, you've had a bunch of people chanting, that they need to make the right decision. I don't know what the actual chant is, but if they don't make the right decision, the whole city's gonna burn. And they were saying on the news that jurors can hear that. Right. So is that because if that's not jury tampering, I don't know what the fuck is. You know what I mean?
Well, they already have enough to declare a mistrial.
Right.
They're way enough. All he's got to do is just slide that paper over, and that's it. We start over again. Right.
Unless he does it with prejudice, then that's done. But I don't know if they'll do that. But dude,
let's talk about the crying when the kid was on the stand. When Rittenhouse was on the stand.
I'm not done talking about the jury.
Oh,
okay, but go ahead. You go ahead. Talk about the crime. It's your turn.
No, I was just bringing up that point. Don't forget about this kid crying and everybody talking shit about him.
Yeah,
he was faking it. I didn't see one real tear. Like, I don't know. I don't know why nobody sees it from outside the box. Just remove yourself and take in the facts and look. Everybody in that situation would have acted the same way.
Yeah, but they're not in the same situation because they don't know. The fucking prosecutor don't even know how to hold a rifle. Dude, Bongino killed me when he showed him like this. He goes, look at that chicken wing stance he's got there. Look at that chicken wing stance. He's like this with the freaking rifle. Dude, I lost it.
You would think that somebody that's going to be like a prosecutor in these kinds of cases all the time, or even now, you would need some kind of like weapon knowledge. Like, why didn't you go out and look things up?
Dude,
or,
even if you're not proficient with firearms, if you're gonna be trying a case, know how to use one.
That's what I mean, or at least like get the jargon down, because that's the one thing that drives me nuts when it comes down to a lot of these politicians, these lawyers, everything like that, and they started throwing out it's a rocket propelled 50 caliber, shoots 1,000 rounds a minute,
of white phosphorus,
gas operated, aerospace, geographically, triangulated. You're like, shut up! You don't even know what you're talking about. You just sound ridiculous.
Truly.
So if he's found not guilty, which I don't see how they cannot find him not guilty, but if he's found not guilty, how bad do you think the riot's going to be?
I think it'd be bad. I think it'll be
bad. I agree. 5,000 National Guard troops already activated.
Are they really?
Where were they during the riots?
Right, exactly.
They're guarding the White House.
And the reason this kid was out there, dude, and the best was the prosecutor was like, but you were in Kenosha. He's like, yeah. He goes, but you live in Antioch. He's like, but my dad lives in Kenosha. I was just protecting the community.
You were defending your home, but your home is in Antioch. Yeah,
but my dad lives in Kenosha. Exactly. And
I mean, like, the worst thing they could have probably got him for, like, realistically, that anything would be maybe the gun charge. Like,
no, they dropped it.
No, I know they dropped it, but I'm saying, like, the worst thing they could have realistically got him for, though, was like the gun thing. But they said that the only thing that stopped it is because it was said that if you had a short barrel rifle or a short barrel shotgun, that was the definition of not allowed to carry that weapon. So,
and also the weapon was already in Wisconsin at his dad's house. He didn't cross it over state lines.
Like I'm saying, though, that would have been like the only thing that could have possibly.
The judge actually made the prosecutor say that there was no crime there. He goes, okay, well, I'm dismissing it. So you're telling me that there's no charge, there's nothing to be charged here? Yes. Okay, dismissed.
Yeah.
Man, what I'd love to hear, you know what? I know how this kid feels right now when he's awaiting this verdict. My deliberation took 6 hours, and that was the longest 6 hours of my life. And the jury in my trial actually asked the judge for some clarification on some of the testimony. The judge said no. He goes, no, you heard the testimony. You can go off of that. So, but I'm good.
Deal with it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much deal with it. But you know what I forgot today, brother?
What?
I forgot
Dedication. I was going to say something a minute ago.
Well, you should have said it. You should have said it 18 minutes ago, because that's when I was supposed to dedicate it. But
so let's go back in time 18 minutes, and you should dedicate something.
Yeah, let me rewind. Hold on. But before I forget, this episode is dedicated to my brother, K9 Supervising Border Patrol agent, Board Star agent Dan Cox, who lost his life in the line of duty on July 31st, 2021. It broke my heart. I miss him every day. Talked about him last podcast. And I'm going to air some of his stuff on the next podcast, because we had a good conversation with him last year on the 96th birthday of the Border Patrol. So, Dan Cox, this podcast for you. I know you're still up there watching my back. Love you, brother.
Love you, brother.
Oh, but yeah, man, it's just been crazy how everything is upside down in the world, not just here, but especially here in this country. You know, we've always been the country that's been in control, the superpower. We've always been the example of a good life, because this is the land of milk and honey. You know, this is fucking America, you know, and just for the past 10 months since this shitty administration took over, it's turned everything upside down. It's like they want to destroy the country, you know. The rumors are now that the POTUS and the VPOTUS ain't getting along. Go figure. They didn't get along during the debates.
One of them doesn't even know one of them doesn't know where they're at, and the other one don't know what they're doing.
Exactly.
So they had the press conference of him signing that $1 trillion
$1.2 trillion,
right?
yeah,
signing away our freaking future, basically.
Now, something I didn't notice before, but I went back and researched it, and it is true. The presidential seal on the podium is blurred out.
Is it?
Yes, and it's raw footage from Kamala Harris's Twitter account, the video that she shared directly.
Gonna have to check that out.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Now, why would they?
Yeah, like block out the presidential seal.
Yeah,
No idea.
weird.
No idea. I'm gonna have to check that out. All right, now that we got TJ's conspiracy theory for this episode.
You know what? It's a conspiracy theory till it's true, and then what?
Hey, I, you know what? I'm gonna have to get an alarm button because you can't say shit like that.
Why
hold
not?
on, because hold on. For the alarm right now, there's gonna be
Coronavirus!
I hear with that weak shit.
Shit is real! Shit is getting real!
But
Oh, miss me with that shit, please.
I know, right? Hey, I wish it would have missed me, but I caught it, man. I'm telling you, that shit was rough.
Look at you,
Hey, did
kicking
you
its
guys,
ass.
did you guys actually see anything on? I think his name is. What is that? The one I was trying to tell you about last time that talked about the coronavirus stuff. Is it Ron Johnson from Iowa? Is that the senator? Ron Johnson?
Couldn't remember.
If I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
yeah, I think so, but I couldn't remember who it was that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
he had a commission or whatever like that this week that just passed or whatever, with all the people that have had adverse effects from the actual,
From the jab?
injection and then he had a breakdown, and I've got like a picture where I took a screenshot from the thing where he was going over like the comparison between flu vaccines and the coronavirus vaccines and like what kind of damage it's done versus and in the time frames as well. So if you go off of the overall like flu vaccines, there's been 193,712 adverse events, and then it says over a year, that means there's like 7,596 that happen per year.
Right.
Okay, and then total deaths is like 1,996, averaging 78 per year since it's happened, and that's over 25 years for the flu virus.
Right.
If you do the COVID over 10 months, averaging per year, so the flu virus was per year average was 7,596. The COVID is 818,044. 108 times as much.
Dude, that's
That
just
video's gonna
fucking
get flagged.
And then if you go, it's going to get flagged, right? And then if you go an average per year of total deaths, so there was 78 for the flu virus. The coronavirus is 17,128, which is 220 times as much. And so there is definitely a lot of disinformation as to what's going on and like what kind of adverse effects you can get from the coronavirus. So
Dude, I'll tell you what, I'm feeling all kinds of adverse effects. I was talking to my buddy because he had it as well, my buddy Brandon. And yes, I hit him with "Let's go, Brandon" all weekend long. But dude, we were out in the restaurant and we were done. I was like, all right, let's go, Brandon. Hit him all the time. But dude, I've got like, he's suffering from it too, but I've got like COVID brain where I can't remember a bunch of shit. Like,
oh, so you're cognitive, like it's cognitive fog is what they call it, like where it's kind of like you can't like remember something. It's
yeah,
like
and
there,
I remember it, but I can't focus on it.
Yeah, it's like it's there, but you can't pull it. It's there, but you can't just grasp it or whatever.
And then today when I was shooting my SIG, still my hands tend to shake. Not a lot, but they still shake. And
Right.
It's getting better, but it's still whenever I try to use fine motor skills. Like even when I'm moving the mouse, my hands start to shake.
Right.
It's gotten a lot less since I got out of the hospital, but still enough where I have to like get a grip and refocus.
Right, that neuromuscular connection
dude.
and everything.
It's just been kicking my ass. And
Well, that, and then also when they chemically induce you, stuff like that. So I mean,
your brain's still waking up.
your
from
brain's kind of like trying to get back in control of what it used to be in control of versus the chemicals that
and I can feel it, dude.
Suppressed everything basically before.
I can feel it when I'm walking. When I talk, I get winded real quick. My heart rate's still accelerated.
Man,
and
we should have played the drinking game for the listeners. Like every time you hear Gary Brugman cough, you gotta take a drink.
yeah, right.
Oh, wait. So here.
Oh, you don't want to play this game with us, Kev?
Oh no.
I know, because there wouldn't be nobody on this screen right now.
It'd be a pair of legs sticking up from the floor.
Right?
Hey, Kevin got me drunk at Thirsty Horse.
Uh-oh.
I'd have been on my way to pick Gary up. I'd have been like, where are we going?
You thirsty?
Oh man. But yeah, man, it's just COVID. Everybody says, "Oh, do you believe in the virus now?" I said, "I've always believed in the virus. I believe that. I just don't believe the numbers that they were giving us."
Yeah, they were definitely flubbing the numbers, because I remember before we came, Gary, me and Patty, before we came out here, we were getting notifications about people that were dying from literally being on their motorcycle, getting like a head-on collision with the other person, and like they have pictures from the highway patrol showing the bike in nothing, not even like recognizable pieces.
Right.
And they're like, he died from COVID. I'm like, no, he died from his ass going through his head when he went through the windshield.
Right.
Like, are you serious? It's like, there's nothing about that. It's like they were attaching anything to something else. You could be dying from, not to be rude or anything like that, cancer. You could be dying from that, and then they would attach it to you and say that that's the reason why you died from COVID. It's like, no, he had a pre-existing condition that was enhanced from the COVID. It's like you're just making it fit your narrative. It's just so dumb.
That's what politicians do. For every report that you could get that shows me one way, I'll go find another report that shows you the opposite. That's how government works.
Yep.
And our government is also allowed to use propaganda against the American citizen. It's legal for them to do it. That should have never been signed in 2008, 2009, Obama. That should have never went through. That shit should have been wiped clean. But they are allowed to use propaganda against the American citizen. And I can't tell enough people that. Well, it used to be. It used to be.
Illegal. And you talking about the word domestic terrorist? You are literally the government being a domestic terrorist against its own freaking citizens.
Well, what were those famous words by Ronald Reagan? The 9 famous word. I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Yeah. You should be very scared when you hear that phrase.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what the fucked up part is? The fucked up part is I love government. I love government.
Yep.
We
need government.
We need government. It's just
you do.
Everybody always says I hate the fucking government. You don't hate the government. You hate who's in charge of the government.
Yes.
That's the fucking problem.
Right.
And that's up to the it was up to the people to decide. All right. Now the government's deciding who fucking wins from now on because they're in on the ship, because I firmly believe that the last election was stolen because
it was rigged.
Because Biden, you know what? He ain't fucking smart enough to have a fucking crowd of people vote for him.
What, he leave the basement 3 times to go out in public?
Yeah, the fucker hid in the basement. The fucker hid in the basement and freaking. They were thanking Kamala Harris about everything that she's done. I'm like, what the fuck has she done? She hasn't done shit.
She put together a program to bail people out from peaceful protesting.
Right.
That's what she did.
Yeah.
I saw a meme that's going to be very relevant, and I shared it on Instagram, and it said that unvaccinated sperm will be the next Bitcoin.
Right, because we're going to be the only ones that can reproduce.
Pure bloods, baby, pure bloods.
Gary, you got to have A triple plus because you had natural immunity.
Yep. Dude, I'm at 1838. I'm good.
Come on, baby, milk my prostate.
There.
Get it all out.
There you go. A little to the left. A little to the left.
Home and fill in jars and be selling it to the highest bidder.
Hey,
Well,
hey, Tony, I got the
The word
mots.
sperm bank.
Hey, Tony, I got the mots.
all of a sudden, the CO2 truck is pulling up to your neighbor's house, filling up these.
Yeah, man. Dude, but I've been talking to a bunch of my freaking agents on the border, dude, and it's still going crazy down there. They're just not covering it as much. They got people coming in everywhere. It's been the busiest month they've had in a while, and it's just been insane down there. And now they're not covering it.
Hey, let me ask you something. Now, can you confirm or throw away the fact that I saw a post that said that they are releasing any nationality that comes across the southern border
Yep.
now? So before they would, like, if somebody came from Italy illegal, they would take them, process them, and ship them back to Italy. Now they can't do that anymore. It's so anybody coming across that southern border, it doesn't matter how you got there, where you're from, you could get through.
Right.
Yeah, you could be like a Taliban freaking straight jihad.
Well,
Why? Why does it have to be Taliban?
It's the
Why
administration.
does it have to be Taliban? Why can't it be Chinese fighters?
It's the administration, bro. Because what they're doing is the people that are coming in, they're giving them NTAs, right, which are notices to appear, or
Here, here's your notice to appear.
Hey,
Yeah.
so-
Okay. Yeah.
so are you done having a tantrum?
No, I'm saying that's what they do. They take their
Well-
notice to appear. They fucking throw it away.
Well, what it is, and it's just as ridiculous. What I'm going to explain is the notice to appear is a piece of paper, and it's got the address of the immigration judge, and then you fold it, and they tell you when you get to where you're going, put your address on here, fold it, staple it, put a stamp on it, because they don't even give you a fucking stamp, the federal government. Put a stamp on it, right, and put it in the mail so that we. Say-
No stamp.
Yep. So, and put it in the mail so that we can send you a date to go see the judge so we can deport you. Who the fuck's gonna do that? Who's gonna do that? Nobody's gonna do that. And
In their right mind would do that.
it makes no sense. And it's not. Everybody says, "Oh, the Border Patrol's not doing their job." They're not being allowed to do their job. When I was
Border Patrol is having their hands tied, like they're basically hog tied right now.
pretty much
The actual
Bro,
soldiers that are on the ground doing their job,
when
they're getting screwed.
when I was an
completely.
agent, we used to go to muster, and our supervisors used to tell us, "Hey, if you guys catch any loads today, or if you guys catch any groups, we're gonna VR them all because the U.S. attorney said he's not prosecuting anybody because they're backed up on cases." How the fuck is that my problem? My job is to catch.
Then why isn't there more people to process the cases? Then?
Exactly. Process your cases faster. Put them in detention. Hold them. But no, we
Hire
had
more judges.
we had
24/7 court.
we had to release everybody we caught because the U.S. attorney was backed up on cases. I've lost a lot of respect for U.S. attorneys over the years.
That is just ridiculous. So does that mean that it's just saying, like, as cops, that you just as a regular police officer, that if you catch a criminal and they're just like, "Oh, we're backed up on cases," you just let the criminal go. You're like, fine. Just gonna let the criminal go, and he can go back out and just do whatever he's going to do.
That's what's happening in New York City. A New York City police officer was randomly attacked on this past Friday, I believe.
Right.
Maybe earlier. And the person had hit him with a backpack, but inside the backpack was a safe. So when he was swinging this thing and broadside at the cop never saw it coming, man.
Yeah,
Blasted
full
him,
metal and everything. Just hit him outside the head.
arrested him, brought him down. The cop, it was still in the hospital, and the criminal was re-released. And this was not his first assault on a police officer. He stabbed an officer 2 years ago and did 2 years of a 5-year sentence and was released on parole.
Dude, remember that? In New York.
That's not our New York City. That's not our New York City.
No, remember growing up in New York City when if you hit a freaking cop, and don't get me wrong, growing up, our cops like to fight. So, you can get into a tussle with a cop because they wanted to fight too, the beat cops. But you whoop his ass, you put him in a hospital, the next day, there'd be 5 police cars just doing 5 miles an hour through the neighborhood full of cops. So it'd be about 30 cops, and since they were
Plus the van.
beat cops, they knew who they were looking for. You know,
Yep.
so we'd be hanging out in the park, and you see the freaking police cars coming by, be like, "Hey, what's up, man? You know, homeboy, we be chilling." You know, next
Yeah.
thing you know, all of a sudden, you saw Freaky D just hauling ass across the park with like 30 cops on his ass.
And they wouldn't arrest you. They'd give you a beating
Yep.
and let you know.
Yep, exactly. Let you know whose streets they are. You know, but not anymore.
Nope.
Not anymore.
Nope.
And
Nope.
you know what I always say, and I've said it before on this podcast, TJ. I've always said it. I said all this disrespect for cops and all this bullshit that's going on started with our cases, with me, Ramos, and Campeon, when they started prosecuting law enforcement officers for doing their fucking jobs.
At the turn of the 2000s, I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Before that,
A Bush era.
I think
exactly.
the thing that bothers me the most when it comes to stuff like in your situation, Gary, and then other law enforcement that get processed or judged this way, it's that it's always somebody that has no idea what it's like to be in any of those situations. They try to think of like everything in this weird cracker box, like kind of like, oh, this is the way it's.
What'd you call me?
I
Man, I'm a
called you-
saltine.
He didn't
Brother.
stutter. You sit there and behave yourself.
I was like, cracker. No, but it's like they're always coming from a perspective of not knowing anything, like no military, no like first responder, no nothing, and they always think that they know how it is and how it works, and it's like it doesn't always play out in the perfect scenario of, I asked the guy, please, would you sit down? And then the guy was like, oh yeah, I'll sit down.
Well, certainly, I care for a spot of tea, please.
Yeah, right. Yeah, spot of tea, please.
Oh, me and the rest of the bobbies.
Yeah,
Yep.
1 lump of 2. You're like 2.
Whole lot of lumps.
Yep.
Hey,
Yeah,
what
but
about
But that's not the
you
word.
want to talk about Steve Bannon?
Huh? No, not
I
yet.
don't really
No.
know what's going on with Steve Bannon right now. I know.
Okay,
how
I guess
he's
we're
been-
talking about it. What about him?
Well, yeah, you got to talk then, TJ, because you're in charge of that one.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
he was indicted on a misdemeanor for not showing up to speak to Congress when he was
Right.
ordered
You don't
to.
have to.
Right, he executive privilege, right?
Right.
So that's what he said, and they wound up bringing him in and taking him to court. And as he was walking into court this morning, he was letting the camera know this is going to be the biggest misdemeanor thorn in Biden's side, in Pelosi's side,
Yep.
all of them. And he's ready to go to war. He's saying, Patriots, it's time to wake up. We're going to war. Donald Trump just announced his intentions, named the rhinos that he would like to see gone into 2022 election.
Yep. And I think that's all that's going to happen too, because the people are just fed up. People are just fed up with the bullshit that they're feeding us. The cost of everything's gone up. It's the most expensive Thanksgiving ever. I
Ever.
mean, it's just.
I love going to the store to buy bacon, and it's $10. I mean, that's awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous, bro. That's freaking ridiculous.
That's just food. That's not even counting about everything else that we deal with in our lives, like gasoline, and everything like that.
Dude,
I bought-
when Donald Trump was president, the gas here in Texas, all right, especially in your area where you live, the gas was freaking 135. 135.
Wow.
And
Wow.
and there was for a brief time, there was a brief time where it went down to 90. There were spots in the city that it was 99 cents. Remember, TJ, I told you gas is under $1. Gas
Yep.
is under a freaking dollar.
Self-sufficient. It was a
Yep.
beautiful thing.
Yep. And freaking this.
It's almost just like you said though earlier too, though, Gary. Like you were talking about, it's like this administration has just taken everything, and they've gone completely opposite of what should really be. I mean, it doesn't even matter what side you're on. Like they've just gone completely rogue as to the way you should take care of Americans. Like we were self-sufficient when it came to like energy. So
Right.
he stopped. All of a sudden, Biden came in. No more fracking. Shut down the pipelines. Everything. Now
Like,
he's begging OPEC.
Hey,
Now he's
yup,
begging
yup.
OPEC to freaking kick out oil.
I
And you're
don't-
like, dude, we
Please,
could have kicked out oil.
I
We
don't
coulda
understand
kicked
it.
out oil on our own. And
I-
you're freaking asking for permission to do oil when we had the capability to do it ourselves.
Mhm.
And then like
There's
the
no
shipping,
logic
all the
behind
shipping
that.
Stuff.
There's no
Yeah.
logic
It's just-
behind that at all.
It's everything is exactly the opposite. Like you said, it's almost like everything's up is down is up.
It's like he's taking.
Left is right.
It's like
It's
he's
just
taking the
one.
American dream. He's taken the American dream and just turned it upside down because he doesn't believe in it, and none of them fucking Democrats up in the swamp believe in it at all either. You know, they're just tearing everything apart. Everything that we as Americans have worked for to make this country what it was. You know,
Right.
all these
What it was.
what it was. It's not
is.
that, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
not what it is now. That's for sure. This is not our America. This is not
Dude,
America.
a year ago, energy self-efficient, lowest unemployment numbers for minorities and Asians and everything. You know, the economy was freaking booming. Gas was $1 and change.
Lowest unemployment, like for all races. Lowest unemployment.
Yeah,
for
lowest
all
unemployment.
races
Yeah,
across the board.
Yep, exactly.
All across the board.
You know,
Now, let me
And-
ask you something, Gary. Can I ask you a question? I know you did a lot of reading, a lot of studying, Constitution, Bill of Rights. Is there anything in there that says when the administration starts making a 180 turnaround and giving the country away, can we arrest them? What can be done to them?
well,
Like you can't keep driving our country down
dude,
this road.
That's where the Second Amendment comes in, you know. But you know, the freaking government is more powerful than everybody out here, you know, because
Right.
the Second Amendment, you know, is to
But
be used
there's
against
like
tyranny.
nothing.
The Second Amendment was put
There's
there. The Second Amendment was put there to control the government, not to control the people, not to control
Right.
animals, not to control environmental.
Well, if you ask Democrats, it's
not
about
asking the
hunting.
Democrat.
It's about hunting. It's only because you can only shoot Bambi with like 3 bullets.
Yeah, but we're not asking Democrats because the freaking Democrats didn't freaking write it. you
Right.
know?
It's just a shame to see the country steered down this path, and a lot of more people are waking up. Like tons of more Americans are
happening.
more aware of what's going on.
It's happening.
but it's happening. And how long does? Yeah, dude, this guy's been in office for what? This is his 11th month
Yeah.
in office, and he ruined our country.
Yeah.
He ruined
But
our
you know
economy.
what? You know what? It ain't the first time this country's been ruined. All right, this country's 200 plus years old, and
If you say we'll build back better, I'm gonna punch you.
I'll punch you too, actually.
No, but dude, this country has been through this kind of bullshit before, and it will come back. It may not be in our fucking lifetime, but this country will come back. It's the United States of America, man. It's been through shit, you know. It's been through highs and lows and highs and lows, you know. But it was based on God, dude. In God we trust. It's on our money, you know.
That's right.
So
I just feel like right now with everything that's going on, like I never thought I'd be living through like this type of thing. It just feels like such a stab in the back from your own
especially after the
country.
last administration we had,
Yeah.
you know.
It's-
When you get to see how good it could be.
Like literally, like he came into office, and as soon as he got into office, he did executive order after executive order. Anything that had a Trump name attached to it,
Yep.
you destroyed it. Whether
And
it
you know,
was a good thing,
you know
or
what the
not.
funny
Not
thing
even-
is?
you didn't even
You
look
know
at
what the funny
policy.
thing is evil does that. Evil goes after good. You know, evil will go
The
after the
battle.
good, and
Every day it's a battle.
it's living proof that evil will go after good. And what's really funny about it is that he did so much good that he's such a thorn in their side.
But they're
you
still
know.
talking about him now.
I know everything's his fault. He's been gone for 11 months. Everything's
Yeah.
still his fault.
He could die, and they'd still be like, "Well, Trump
Yep.
freaking 20 years ago freaking
Yep.
farted in public," and you're like, "Really?"
I
What
mean,
does that
dude-
have to do with the cost of inflation right now? but they would have some way to link it. They'd try to say, oh, this and that.
Dude, I remember I used to say that Obama was the worst president that we ever had, and fucking Biden took that cake, bro.
First it was Carter, then
Yep.
it was Obama, now it's Biden. Takes the cake.
Yep.
Biden, I've been saying it since he's like, even before he got elected, I was like, if that dude gets elected, he will be the worst president in history. And then, I mean, you look at it now, the guy literally opens his mouth and, well, I wouldn't
So-
say stupidity. I wouldn't say stupidity comes out because that would require some kind of a thought process. This is just like, he's like the smartest kid with Down syndrome.
I like ice cream.
Yeah,
Well-
exactly. So
I like
You know
Rocky
what?
Road Trooper.
You know what? I'm getting kind of tired about talking about this prick. So
Word.
what do y'all have
Let's
planned
move
for
on.
this weekend? Because, you know, this dude's starting to fucking depress me. What do you guys got planned for this weekend?
Hey, how about the
Oh,
listeners
dude.
could go out and get a Gary Brugman PVC patch
There
from
you go.
Patch Ops.
Dude, let me see
And
that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see that.
check
Give it.
it out, bro.
Dude, that's badass. I like that.
Yeah.
You should check that
Hey,
out.
It feels good,
I
right?
got one.
There you go. That's badass. Make sure you guys go out and get
It
one.
goes right on my range bag.
Have to have a giveaway for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm not going to get it back.
Hey,
It's
you know what
it's
I
a
wanna
one-way
do?
portal.
I know what I want to do. I want to go shoot your P320. That's what I want to do.
There you go. There you go. We shall do it soon, man. We shall do it
Yeah.
soon.
How does that thing feel like in your head? Is it ergonomically? Does it feel really good, like the way it feels? And
It's
everything?
really nice.
Look at him grinning.
It's-
Look at him grinning.
It's really nice, man. It's got that straight trigger on it.
Oh, it's got the flat face trigger.
Yeah,
and
the
everything.
skeletized flat face. Yep.
What's the capacity?
It's 17 and 1.
17.
17.
Yeah.
Well, you know that. You got one of these.
In California, that'd be high capacity. If standard high capacity.
Now
friggin'
that brings me
magazine.
to another point, you know. Before I go to what I'm doing this weekend, at least you're not in California doing this whole big mess, huh, Kevin?
Oh, I'm so happy to be a Texan now.
Yep.
So happy.
You got driver's license plates, everything on you.
I love that freaking. I know we talked about it last time, but I'm loving my freaking 9mm Glock fed freaking AR that I built. That thing. I built that in the kitchen. I built that in the kitchen, like within like a freaking month of me being here. I was like, I'm gonna make something that I can have in California right now.
Dude, hey,
Like it was like
TJ,
mandatory. I was like, I'm gonna make something I know I can't have in California.
I took
Sweet.
him to the gun show when he moved here, and he was like, I can touch these.
You know what's even crazy? Well, the thing that's even crazier though is like, if you think about like even the Glocks that I own now, they're all Gen 3s. I can't have a Gen 4 or Gen 5. When I lived in California, they wouldn't allow it. It has to be on a list, and then that list has got to be approved by somebody else and all this stuff. And then every time you get the list approved, they take so many off the list before they put so many on. So it's like more are coming off than that are going on, and then you're like, by the time you're going to get down to it, like you're living in California, you're going to have like a slingshot that's going to be the only thing that you're allowed to use.
And it better not have a sight on it.
And it's going to be the Gen 4 where it's a rusty or like some messed up wooden stick with moss on it still
Yep.
because it's you're not allowed to, like, you know what I mean? Like bone it down to like the spare wood or whatever the hell it is.
Dude, I remember when I was a kid, I had a slingshot, not like the wrist rocket. I got one of those now.
Right.
But I had this wooden slingshot, and it had a hole cut out, and it had a piece of plastic that had a cross through it, like crosshairs. I was like, "Ooh, gotcha, motherfucker."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
the one you could get in California would have knots on it and still would be a mossy stick. So
Yeah, yeah.
Not allowed to have a slingshot in New York State.
Nope.
are you
Considered
serious?
a deadly weapon.
Yep. Sure is.
Oh,
Yep.
That's why I don't live there anymore.
Me neither.
And you know what?
California and New York are in competition.
You know what?
Yeah.
Don't leave out Chicago. But you know what's crazy is when
Chicago takes it to another level because at least their criminal level puts it into a two-way range, kind of thing.
when I lived in New York, I was one of those few people that actually had a New York State carry permit.
I know. I saw that picture. It's scary.
Yeah. Yep.
That reminds me, I need to hurry up and finish my second half of my LTC so I can start carrying my, firearm with me.
I've been telling you, man. I don't know what you're procrastinating on. You should have had.
I told you that.
Dude,
I
you've been here
didn't
since
realize that
April.
when
You
I
should have
did
had
that
that a
wrong.
long time ago.
I told you that I did it, and then I thought I was done when I finished my other gun certification that I'd done.
Yeah. So
And I didn't realize that I had to do the other part. I have to watch those wonderful videos that you and me were talking about.
yeah.
Reconfirming everything that I've already learned so far.
I love these reports, how people report on Texas and say, oh, in Texas now, anybody with a driver's license that's over the age of 21 can buy a pistol and carry it anywhere they want.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
No.
No,
That's
not at
fantastic.
all. That seems very normal.
Yep.
The only reason why people are weird and actually act weird like that about those things is because they've been taught that that's what's normal.
Right.
Like realistically, if you go back to the way our founding fathers were, everybody carried a gun with them everywhere they went.
True that.
Everybody.
Yep. And
And it wasn't.
and I've got mixed feelings about that.
What's that?
And I've got mixed feelings about that, because the 2A American Constitution guy that I am, I believe everybody should have that right. And I do, right? Any
Right.
legal person should have that right.
Right.
The law enforcement guy in me and the avid shooter that I am, on that same note, doesn't want any Joe Schmo that can't handle a gun carrying a gun.
That's why you should at least have to go and do some kind of a class or something.
And that's why I have no problem with licensing.
Yeah,
you want to carry a gun, get a license that proves you have been trained to use it, that you know what you're doing, unlike that freaking prosecutor today that had his finger on the trigger with the chicken wing stance.
The chicken wing.
Chicken wing,
So, cheese and macaroni.
Are you done?
Oh, sorry.
All right.
Yes. Well, not
So-
really, but yes.
So, like I said, I'm kind of cross between it because I believe in constitutional carry, but on the same note, I don't want any schmuck that, today when I was at the range, I saw a guy and I mean, it was just a normal looking guy that I would think if I saw him down the street, hey, battle buddy, right? But this dude was taking some orientation from an instructor, and the guy's like, this is a 9mm bullet. This is a magazine. Don't call it a clip, and this
That's for your hair.
and this is a semi-automatic Glock, and that semi-automatic means every time you pull the trigger, a round will go off, and the guy's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, wow. And the guy was already gray-haired, and, I gotta say he was about 40 and change. And obviously, to me, it looked like he came from California. No offense, but it's like he knew nothing.
Hey, it's not me.
Because-
It's not me.
Mind
There's a
you,
mass exodus of
mind you-
California and New York people.
mind you, it was in Austin, but the I can't see.
Well,
Mind you,
you should know that about Austin. So
I can't picture anybody in Texas, even if they are from Austin, not knowing how to fire a weapon.
Transplant. He's a transplant.
So, but yeah, man.
you run into like all kinds of different people too, though, because like even since I've been out driving around, like I've been doing lately for like work or whatever, like right now, like I still catch people that say things about firearms that are from here, that say like, oh well, now there's the constitutional carry and this and that, and they act kind of weirded out about it. And I'm like, well, I was like, you do know that you have had the ability to drive around with a loaded long rifle in your front seat of your car, and that's completely illegal for a long time.
Right.
They didn't know that either. I'm like, yeah, I could ride around with like literally my AR loaded in the front seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's totally legal here. Before
You can't do that in California? You can't do that in California?
I don't even think you can even look at a gun like that while you can't look out your window at a gun like that in the car. Probably they come and tell you that it's illegal. Stop admiring freaking firearms.
Right.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of funny, the whole concept though behind it, like how people have gotten so, I would almost say, institutionalized. What they believe is like the norm. Like if you're alive and somebody threatens your life, you should be allowed to protect yourself.
Right.
Why?
With any means necessary.
Why is that so hard to understand?
It's hard to defend yourself when you're the one that brought the gun.
Yeah, you heard that bullshit?
Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
You give up self-defense
So-
when you're carrying a
Yeah.
gun.
So you're telling me everybody that's got a license to
Self-defense.
carry is out there looking for a freaking, everybody's
You-
got a
you
license
need
to
a
carry isn't
license?
allowed to defend themselves with a weapon?
You need a license to drive a car. You need a license to ride a motorcycle. You should have a license to prove that you're capable with a gun.
Right.
That's all it is. It's a skills test.
That's it. And but here's the thing. Constitutional carry doesn't allow you to carry across state lines.
No.
No, it's just here.
However, you got a freaking license to carry. You can carry in 42 states?
CCW, yep.
Yep. Well, it's CCW in some places, carrying concealed weapon. In Texas, it's just a license to carry. Concealed or open, don't matter.
Oh,
Well, see,
okay.
even though in my situation, like how I'm all about firearms and our rights to carry firearms, I won't let Patty, my wife, for everybody out there, I won't let her carry a gun because I don't feel confident that she knows enough about shooting a gun. Like I've always taken her to the range, and I've always been the one that's like charging the weapon, loading the weapon for her, and I'm like, I feel like if
Cut the
something
cord, Kev. Cut the cord.
well, that's the thing is like I don't want to be the one to teach her because you know how everybody's always like a little more resistant to like people that they know. They're like, stop telling me what to do, you know, blah. I got daddy issues. You're like, yeah, don't talk to me, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's why I was gonna have either Gary or somebody else like, hey, here, take Patty and show her how to shoot once I buy her own firearm.
Right.
But I want her to have to do the manual of arms. You need to load the magazine.
You gotta know the basics, bro.
Yeah.
We
Put
even
it into the freaking weapon. Charge the weapon. Know multiple ways to charge your
we
weapon.
even do that in real estate when your sales starts getting slow or something's just not right. You know,
You start charging your weapon.
We start charging a weapon. You know, we go back to the basics, bro. The basics of the fundamentals of sales. You know, and it's just knowing the basics and going back to the basics. You know, but you know what? People been listening to us for an hour, and it's almost time to check out. So let's go ahead and roll. Thank you, Kevin, for being here for an hour. Thank you, Big Daddy Ruffneck, for joining me.
Oh, yeah. It's your man, Big Daddy Ruffneck. That concludes this episode of the Gary Brugman Podcast. Please like and subscribe on social media. Yeah, something. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.
Something.
Yeah, man. So that's it. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you for being here for the past 58 minutes. It's been real. So God bless y'all. Stay safe. Stay vigilant. Be savage. God, Texas, and on it first. God bless America. Catch y'all next time.